and gentlemen, Gungans and droids, welcome to Arnold Holonet News, the only news you'll ever need, because you have no other choice. And today, we finally have the much anticipated kit reveal for Lord Vader. Let me just say before we get this going, this was one of the characters I have been most excited for ever since starting to play Galactic series in 2015, and it's finally here. And although it has a Sith and Empire tag, it really is gonna be the Galactic Legend for the Empire. Let me go ahead and show you what we got cooking here. So in case you're wondering where this kit reveal is coming from, it is coming from Operation Metaverse, link down below in the video description if you want to go ahead and watch the whole thing. A little bit of feedback for CG. These early access things are really cool and all, but either one, ask to shorten it a little bit. This is almost an hour long. Or secondly, at least release the forum post on or about the same time as these exclusive kit reveals. That's really the only thing I gotta share in regards to making this a little bit better, because it's a lot of information in a very long format. But anyways, let's go ahead and start breaking down this cookie here. I'm gonna go ahead and show the little intro cinematic, but this character will have the Sith and Empire tag. However, the Sith tag is more just a formality. It really is meant to bring out the Empire synergies, which is kind of interesting because really the Empire characters we have aren't really around the same era as this Lord Vader, as we're seeing right here. And furthermore, we kind of predicted with AP Games yesterday, it looks like Darth Vader, the nerf Darth Vader, looks like he's going to have a home in this lineup, and Admiral Piet's looking pretty bananas inside of this lineup as well. So let's go ahead and start breaking down all these abilities. We have the alternate ability, End of the Galactic Republic, and we got a couple other fun abilities. We got to break down the Vindictive Storm basic ability that we have on him, and I love some of the names on there. They have Dark Prophecy as one of the names, Dark Harbinger, Unshackled Emotions, and the leader ability really brings me goosebumps. My new Empire. And how about we start off with, it's very difficult to break down this kit reveal with the way it was formatted, but let's break down this basic ability first. Vindictive Storm, deal physical damage to target enemy, and if Lord Vader has 30 or more stacks of underestimated, brilliant that they brought that in, just like we had high ground with Kenobi. It would be a missed opportunity if there was anything about underestimated power omitted from the kit. So Lord Vader has 30 more stacks of underestimated. He deals damage again. Each time this ability deals damage in the same attack, it deals 25% more damage, max of 25%, and Ashes of the Old Republic, we'll talk about that more, deal damage again. And we have some gameplay we're going to roll here that they were able to get in advance for you guys. So let's go ahead and move on. The Dark Harbinger, inflict buff immunity and healing immunity for 2 turns and deal physical damage to the target enemy, and this ability deals 20% more physical damage on subsequent uses, stacking with a maximum of 5 stacks. And here we go. Now we're finally talking about the ultimate charge. Lord Vader gains 1% ultimate charge, and Empire and Dark Side unaligned Force User allies, aka Maul. We kind of knew in advance that Maul was meant to be of him, just like how Commander Sokatano was meant to be with Kenobi. Unaligned, Dark Side unaligned Force User allies recover 0.5% health for each stack of underestimated. This is going to be very critical. We haven't seen it yet in the kit yet today in this video, but we knew in advance that the ultimate is going to be charged via taking damage on the team. And here we're at least seeing ways to recover a little bit of health on your team, because yes, you want to get that ultimate charge, but you also want to find a way to recover some banners. And here we go. Ashes of the Old Republic. This attack also deals true damage. Isn't it funny? They nerf all of our non-Galactic Legend characters that can do true damage. But hey, you know, at the Galactic Legends, it's going to be A-okay. So let's go ahead and move along forward in the kit. We have Unshackled Emotions. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict daze and damage over time effects. 4 damage over time effects for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. And I know we've been a little bit bummed about Darth Vader's nerf. This doesn't really excuse it by any stretch of the imagination, but Darth Vader is going to have a heyday with all these damage over times, which can't be resistant for each stack of underestimated. This ability deals 2.5% more damage, and all Dark Side allies gain 1% mastery stacking until the end of the encounter. And moving on, we have to read the Ashes of the Old Republic here. Inflict ability block for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or resisted, and increase target enemies' cooldowns by 2. Now keep in mind, Maul's also got cooldown increases on his abilities. and it looks like Lord Vader is going to have it as well. So we got ability blocks that can't be dispelled or resisted, and we have tons of ways to increase cooldowns on this guy as well. Holy cow, he is going to have a lot of control over the opposing team, whereas Kenobi's more supporting the rest of him, and he dishes out some pretty good damage. But Lord Vader is really about controlling the opposing team while juicing up the firepower on your team as well. And here we go, we got a little gameplay to roll through. Let's see. So there's the dazes, there's the damage over times. Look how many damage over times that they have going on there. And keep in mind, this is test build footage, so subject to change sometime in the future potentially. Always keep that in mind. But also take a look at Maul. We've tested Maul inside of Conquest, but man, this is going to be the Maul that you're going to have your hands on. We have the Anguish going on, and we have, look at this, pretty interesting, throwing the mark on top of Lord Vader. And we're going to talk about what's going on with the health indicators. You might be wondering what the heck is going on here. My gosh. Oh, look at these guys going crazy up on the enemy team here. My gosh. All right, let's speed up this footage just a wee bit so we can see this in a little bit of a faster playback speed. Garrett, can you do that 1.5? There we go. Sorry, General Anakin Skywalker, not today. And I think one of the things that really surprises me is a lot of this footage, they're using Royal Guard. And note, look at that ultimate charging on our Lord Vader right there. Royal Guard being useful. He wasn't even a requirement for Lord Vader, although he was a requirement for the Eternal Gucci Man. Royal Guard being useful, that would be huge. One thing about Galactic Legends we look for is we try to find a way to take unused characters and making them viable. If Royal Guard is indeed going to be something pivotal for this lineup, that is going to be huge. So here's the Merciless Massacre. Let's see what it looks like here. He's going to open up that Force Crush, and let's see, can we yeet someone out here? They're going to go for Luke. All right, went for Luke. Interesting. I would have went for Jedi Revan. Not sure who recorded the gameplay here, but here we go. Bouncing around 64,000 on the basic, 75,000 on the basic, and throwing another Force Crush. And here's the ultimate ability. And oh man, we didn't even get the oh gosh. He looks like Thanos snapping his fingers and making everyone disappear off the board. Absolutely nasty. Let's see Maul do some crazy stuff. Boom. Do it again. Boom. So that's Maul taking all of his bonus turns, and he's just plowing through the front door of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Here comes the Coaling Blade. That's looking a little nasty. So let's go in and start talking about the leadership ability here. My new empire. That does have a ring to it, doesn't it? All right, buckle down. Hopefully you guys got the tactical scanners on. Hopefully you guys got your degree in swagology. Dark side allies have plus 20 speed, plus 20% mastery, and plus 15% max health, doubled for Empire and Dark Side unaligned forces or allies. So again, as I told you right from the get-go, this is going to be an Empire Galactic Legend. Oh man, I wish we just had more thematic Empire units that would kind of match the Lord Vader timeline a little bit. That's the only thing I can really knock on this, except, well, of course, the 4 relegate requirements as well. No Sith synergy right there. And here we go. At the start of battle, other Empire and Dark Side unaligned force user allies lose all protection, gain that much max health. It is literally like the Darth Nihilus lead, but in a better format so far. And it kind of Malik to an extent as well. If a dark side unaligned forces or ally was present at the start of the battle, for the rest of the battle, all Empire or dark side unaligned force user allies take 30% reduced damage from enemy light side unaligned force user attacks, and that is huge. Again, the ultimate's going to be charged, as we'll be seeing, through taking damage. You want to take that damage, charge the ultimate, but you also don't want to die too quickly as well. That 30% reduction for your entire Empire Dark Side Unaligned Force user team is huge. But however, do note, this is really asking for Maul to be on the team. They really get the full benefits out of that right there. Moving on, unaligned, let's see, if all allies are Dark Side at the start of the battle, Empire and Dark Side unaligned forces, man, we got to get a better word for that. Forces allies are immune to fear. Sorry, Piet. Sorry, Darth Irvins. Sorry, Malik. Empire tanks gain taunt for 2 turns, and when an Empire ally loses taunt, they are inflicted with, can we scroll down a little bit? There we go. They are inflicted with marked for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, prevented, or resisted. So there's 2 things I'm looking at. Royal Guard, Gary the Stormtrooper, and maybe even Sherry the Shore Trooper. This is basically forcing taunts on your characters, even if buff dispels happen. So it seems like finding ways to ignore taunts and marks are going to be incredibly important, which can't be dispelled, prevented, or resisted. Moving on here. We're not done yet. Jeez. Whenever a Darkseid ally loses a buff, Empire and Darkseid unaligned force users gain 1% mastery stacking until the end of the encounter. whenever whenever a debuff dark side ally takes damage, Lord Vader gains 2% ulti charge, and there we go. And it's increased to 3% if that ally was an unaligned force user. Again, really asking for Maul to be on the team here. And then moving on here, jeez. Are we almost done here, Gary? My gosh, this looks like it's a 10-mile long kit here. Empire and Dark Side unaligned. Go forward a little bit. Go forward a little bit. Come on. No. Go. There we go. Empire and Dark Side unaligned forces or allies have plus 35% critical chance and critical damage when targeting a Galactic Republic enemy. Really putting the Galactic Republic in the ashes. Makes you wonder how disadvantaged will Kenobi's be. We gotta wait and see. Whenever an enemy critically hits an Empire Dark Side force user ally, that enemy has minus 30% critical damage stacking for 3 turns. Wow. So keep in mind, if you have Maul in the field, a Dark Side unaligned force user ally, yada yada yada. I wonder if Kylo Ren Unmasked would work in here, because he is considered a Dark Side unaligned force user as well. So maybe you don't need Maul to make this work here. But it makes you wonder how this is going to work with the damage reductions that's already applying, that 30% flat reduction, and then also constantly reducing critical damage. It seems like offense mods might be the way to go here, since critical damage mods might become semi-obsolete versus a character like this. And we are not done yet. While Empire and Dark Side unaligned forces or allies are at certain health thresholds, kind of reminding me of like raid bosses in a way, or Malik more specifically, they gain different benefits. While above 35% health during an enemy's attack, they are immune to max health reduction and other damage that is based on max health. So damage over time is not really going to matter. General Anakin Skywalker reducing max health. I mean, we know that gas kind of got nerfed versus Galactic Legends, can't reduce their max health anymore. But now any person really on an Empire Dark Side unaligned force user with Lord Vader, they are immune to max health reduction. That's going to be important, especially because we're lumping all that protection to health. You want to make sure you're not going to be disadvantaged and easily manipulated. But while above 50% health, they are immune to damage over time and thermal detonator effects. That's really oddly specific. Thermal detonators, I guess it kind of makes sense because thermal detonators are based on max health, so you don't want Jawas loading up thermal detonators, just lighting up the whole team. That was probably, hey, they tested their game, because I bet you there's a universe where that wasn't tested, and we're going to see Jawas countering Galactic Legends. And finally, while below 80% health, they can't be critically hit. Offense mods, I'm calling it right now. We're seeing several reasons why offense mods are going to be the way to go. We're going to come back to some gameplay in a moment. I want to make sure we read the unique abilities and the ultimate abilities that we have here. Oh man, there's tons of gameplay. At least with this, you know, if you want to get the long kit breakdown, tons and tons of gameplay in this video. Great job on their part. Twisted Prophecy, I love the name here. Lord Vader is immune to turn meter manipulation, just like Sith Eternal, and his attacks cannot be evaded. Oh, mamma mia. Oh, at the start of the battle, he loses all protection, gains that much max health, and Dark Side unaligned force user allies gain speed up and stealth for 2 turns. Kind of odd. I guess, you know, at least it forced the taunt. It's kind of like a Darth Maul lead. We're kind of noticing lately with the Galactic Legends Kenobi as well as Lord Vader, they're kind of blending in a lot of leads. We're seeing a little bit of Nihilus. We're seeing a little bit of Darth Maul's lead. Oddly enough, though, it's not Sith synergy, it's Empire synergy. And at the start of Lord Vader's turn, enemies are inflicted with 2 damage over time effects for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Again, Vader, Darth Vader, that is. I still want him worked, fixed. I want that Culling Blade fixed for non-Galactic Legends purposes. But at least you're seeing here with that Empire tech, with all the damage over times, this is really going to be a playground for Darth Vader. Enemies with damage over time effects can't gain bonus turn meter. So you're starting out the battle with Lord Vader taking his turn, throwing damage over time effects. It's basically like a daze constantly implied, or a burning of some sort, which is going to be huge. So at least it sounds like Imperial Troopers might have a hard time getting a train rolling up against this guy. And at the start of other characters' turns, Lord Vader gains 1 stack of Underestimate. It's been a while. We're finally here, which can go up to a maximum of 60, but doubled for Galactic Republic and Jedi enemies. So when there's Kenobi, which is a Galactic Republic and a Jedi enemy, you're getting tons and tons of extra stacks of Underestimate. If I had to guess, I'm guessing when Kenobi takes a turn, that's going to count as 4 stacks of Underestimate. It might be 2 or 4. Usually with, like, for example, Darth Vader's unique ability, he counts himself as Empire as well as Sith, so you get plus 16 extra speed through Darth Vader's unique ability, the old Darth Vader. That's my suspicion that we're looking at probably 4 stacks of underestimated, really trying to crank up those stacks as fast as possible, but we're going to scroll down a little bit more here. And underestimated. Here we go. Vindictive Storm, the basic, Dark Harbinger is the special, and Unshackled Emotions gain additional effects. So as we saw, each one of those abilities at the beginning, as we read through them, they have an additional effect to them. So you want to get that underestimated going as high as possible. And now we got to read one more, which I believe it's just a typical Galactic Legends unique ability, which isn't all that new. We have this on every single Galactic Legend. This unit takes reduced damage from percent health damage effects and massive damage effects. They take massive damage from destroy effects, excludes the raid bosses, and are immune to stun effects. And this unit gets plus 10% max health and protection. And this is going to be humongous for this character. Per relic amplifier, and damage they receive is decreased by 30. So Lord Vader, let's just break that down. Let's go ahead and let them roll some gameplay in the background here. So first things first. Oh man, raid battles. I want to see this in action. First things first. There were already several ways that Vader's going to be decreasing damage on his team. And the relic amplifier is also going to be helping him out. More specifically, and on top of the relics, as you're increasing relics, you're able to increase that health and protection, which is going to be critical when he blends it all together for a massive health pool. Very hard to tell with the health point indicators. There's Darth Vader doing Darth Vader things. Isn't it funny? They only want our Darth Vader being like that if it's gonna be with a Galactic Legend. But look at this. You know, notice we did lose the taunt a moment ago on Royal Guard, and it popped right back up. Look at that. Jedi Training Ray. The beautiful thing about it not being a buff mark, that is, you can't do anything. You are literally stuck behind. And this is huge. I want you guys to watch this here. Ray's gonna open up that ultimate. And because of all this reduced damage, this is kind of not a nerf, but it's a counter to Ray here. So in a moment, she's going to open up her wallet, landing a fracture. Let's go ahead and slow it down. She's going to open a wallet any moment now. There we go. It's coming. And boom. Very hard to see, but barely a tickle. The whole team still standing strong together. And especially look at Lord Vader. He looks like he just came back from a tickle party, absolutely annihilating this team right here. Kind of a couple interesting plays here. I'm not sure if this is maybe developer recorded footage or maybe it reminds me way back when we used to get early access. Holy cow, that's the Vader I recall. I remember sometimes in early access footage developers would record, sometimes some weird plays would be made, but even with some weird plays being made, absolute massacre. Here we go with that. Are they gonna do AoE? Oh, they're just doing basics. All right, basics it is. And there we go. Being able to mark down Vader. That's why Piet's on there. Because remember, when Piet marks someone, when he uses basic, he's always calling them to the assist. So you're going to always get Vader to assist, and that is going to be huge. Thrawn's an interesting choice in this lineup right here. I'm glad they showed some non-mall footage here so you can kind of see what's going on here. Oh, man, let's see Vader. Come on, Vader. Let's go to town. Oh, man. Oh, the damage over time's crippling this team. We got the basic over on Ray. 50 stacks of underestimate, and we're going to go in the Merciless. And what are you going to do? Just throw the Cloaking Blade. Bada bing, bada boom. Wow. Absolutely great. Now let's read the ultimate ability. I know we got a little ahead of ourselves there, but here we go. What does the ultimate do? Requires 65% ultimate charge to activate, which I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of ultimates that have thresholds, for example. Unlike Eternal Master Luke, it's all or nothing, baby. You got to go all the way to the finish line. Lord Vader gains ultimate charge when he uses Dark Harbinger, and when debuffed dark side allies receive damage, he gains 2% ultimate charge, increase to 3% if that ally was an unaligned force user. Pretty much just a recap what we've seen so far. Lord Vader gains 50% of other dark side allies' current mastery, which is stacking until the end of the encounter. Then they lose that much. Oh my gosh. What a double-edged sword right there. Empire and dark side unaligned force user allies don't lose mastery from this ability as well. But if you get to 100% ultimate charge, well, let me tell you what you got, baby. Lord Vader instead gains 75% mastery from this ability, dispels all debuffs on himself, takes a freaking bonus turn, reduces his cooldowns by 1, and gains Ashes of the Republic for 5 turns, which can't be dispelled or prevented. And you might be asking, Arnold, what does that do? Well, let Operation Metaverse scroll down for a moment for you guys here. Ashes of the Republic. Lord Vader's abilities gain additional effects. Enemies defeated while this is active can't be revived. I love that. Lord Vader is immune to ability block, healing immunity, and shock, and can't gain ultimate charge. So it's in a way kind of like how we're seeing high ground For example, with Kenobi, where you can't get any ultra charge while you're in that stance there. And here we go. We're going to finally see some Kenobi versus Lord Vader action here. And this is more or less the go-to Kenobi team, and it's still yet to be decided. Is this going to be the Lord Vader lineup? I think Vader's going to have a home there. Royal Guard is quite interesting in there. And plus, keep in mind, Royal Guard passively heals himself as well if you're damaging other people on the team. So this is going to be kind of an interesting situation. Gary might be interesting, especially since we have a lot of Empire units on the field. Maybe he might be another character. Plus, Gary has some of the highest defense, Gary the Stormtrooper that is, in the game, especially when paired with lots and lots of Empire units. So I am happy that we might have a use for unused tanks. Share Destroyer Trooper, of course, is amazing. Lots of heals as well in the team. But Share Destroyer Trooper is a great plug-and-play tank. I would be much happier finding ways to make use out of other tanks game. Look at Maul just absolutely digging through Kenobi. And here comes the ultimate. And let's see him go to town. AoE, throw into Harbinger. And look at all the... Oh, my gosh. Look at how the ability boxes penetrate through the tenacity up. Oh, man, that is literally showing that. But hold on. Kenobi's got an ultimate here. Let's see. Oh, my gosh. Oof. All right, guys, again, test build footage. A lot of stuff subject to change. Oh, this looks like an absolute massacre. And with all those cooldown increase as well, it's going to be very difficult for Commander Ahsoka Tano to try to get out with that instant kill ability. Not a single person insta-killed. We don't know the mods running around on this team right now, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this Kenobi versus Lord Vader matchup happens. One of the things that people are always worried about is their Galactic Legend becoming obsolete. I'm sure Kenobi's still going to be amazing. Maybe even a chance Kenobi can beat Lord Vader. But man, this early access footage here that they have is not looking too good for the Kenobi fanboys out there. Kenobi all by himself. Who was my brother? Yeah, let me tell you, he doesn't give two craps about that. Oh my gosh. All right. I think you guys can understand what's going on here. Oh man, the days is oh, let's see Vader go merciless on me. Merciless, Force Crush. We're getting Vader back to where he was supposed to be, but I want my Darth Vader to work without Lord Vader in the very end. So wow, fantastic stuff. I'm loving the relic ability, Lord Vader's glove. Feel free to check out the entire interview and a lot more gameplay on Operation Metaverse, as well as the developers discussing a lot of the stuff with the kit. From my recollection, my intel's not showing me that we have the exact confirmation as to when Lord Vader's coming up with the kit reveal today. It might be this week or next week at the latest. I'll keep you updated when I got the intel, but until then, leave a like, comment down below, and all your beautiful thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And in celebration of Lord Vader, say it with me. It's great to be in the Empire today.